Maybe I can help you out.
Please keep your arms and all items inside the tram. If you need any kind of guest assistance, for instance, a medical emergency, or you go
in the middle of it, we might pass right by some production stuff when we're down there. So again, guys, come on in. We're excited to get going here, but first let's make sure of a few things. One, that everyone's got 3D glasses. If you do not have 3D glasses, let's wave goodbye to all those strangers to our left there, guys. We'll probably never see them again, but we're gonna go see some cool stuff right now to help us kick things off here. I'm gonna introduce a few friends. First and foremost, you can probably tell I am not driving the tram. I am not looking at the road, so I wouldn't get us very far if that was up to me. Thankfully, someone who is looking at the road is our driver, Martin. Everyone say hi, Martin.
Hi, Martin.
That's right. Martin's going to get us around the lot today at a fast and furious 5 to 10 miles per hour. This depends on what we counter back there, but I'm also going to have some help of my own. So I'm going to introduce now my co-host. He is our master of ceremonies and the host of the Tonight Show. Let's give a nice warm welcome to Mr. Jimmy Fallon.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Welcome aboard the world's famous studio tour. I know what you're thinking. Why the tux? Well, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. That's right, 60 years of glitz, glamour, and our own great white shark. As we celebrate our diamond anniversary today, we'll pay tribute to Universal's past and take you behind the scenes to discover why this studio tour is world famous. So whether this is your first visit or your 60th, get ready for fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
That's right, thank you, Jimmy. So to get down there on the lot, guys, we got to go down this big hill coming up right here. This is called the Universal Timeline. You're going to see all these movie posters on the right and left as we go down the hill. So it's a little bit of our history told through films. So we'll take it back to the very beginning. Well, our first film was 1914, but the studio lot didn't actually come to existence until 1915. It was March 15th, 1915, when our founder, Carl Laemmle, right there, Uncle Carl, as we like to call him, he came out here and opened up the studio lot and invited the public in for the first time ever to see how silent films were made then. You could walk from set to set, watch them film stuff on the lot. But once the silent film era ended, so did those walking tours. And it wasn't until the 60s that we revived the idea of a tour. After the Gray Line tour buses from Hollywood started to make stops here, we thought there might be something to this whole tour thing again. Let's get back to that. So on July 15th, 1964, the first of our red and white glamour trams took passengers out on a 2-hour driving tour of the lot. Now we started with only 2 guides and 2 drivers, but we expanded. We added some cool stuff like the burning house right there on the screen and our rock slide. Both of those things happened right here. To your left where that rock slide would have come down. And to your right, our burning house is now our fire station. It is something we thought would be a little more useful to us, and it's also necessary given the fact that we are our very own city. We are in Universal City. It was actually Carl's dream to make Universal the strangest city on the planet. And he fully realized that. We've got our own fire station, sheriff substation, our very own zip code. Again, you are in a real city in and of itself right here. The only movie-making city in the world. So we're going to take you right through all of it. Once we hit the bottom of the hill, we're going to officially cross over onto the studio lot. Going through what we call the front lot first. So the front lot has most of our sound stages on it. Like sound stage 12. Coming up right here to your left, guys, that's our oldest and largest sound stage. Home to some of our most iconic sets. Everything on screen. A whole bunch more done right there. Is anybody going to Halloween Horror Nights tonight? HHN, woo! Okay, I got some HHN goers. One of our haunted houses is in stage 12 this year. It is our Universal Monster House that is in that sound stage. It's a really actually special kind of moment because it's the first time as a guest you've ever been able to go in that sound stage. It is our oldest, our largest, and as you saw, where a lot of those OG monster movies filmed. So super cool. Make sure you check that one out if you go to HHN. But here we are now, guys. We're on the front lot. You made it in Hollywood. Congrats. Here we are. Real sound stages right there, stage 11. That's home to HBO Max's Hacks. You can see inside some of their sets there. Jean Smart, she just won her 3rd Emmy for that show's 3rd season. She's won every season so far for lead actress in a comedy. The show won Best Comedy last week as well. We got Ted Season 2 in production right here. Stages 7 and 8 are also home to another Peacock show, Bel Air. We got the stars of that show here, Jabari Banks and Ali Charlatan, to tell you more about the front line.
We're leaving the theme park behind and entering the front lot where real Hollywood magic is made. How? Well, inside the sound stages that surrounds us, we can create any kind of environment the script demands.
For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have lived right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences anywhere the imagination can take you, even to a palatial mansion in Bel Air.
When we film Bel Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with excited guests as they drive by.
So, keep an eye out.
You'll never know who
Or what?
you'll see on the studio tour.
That's right, or where you might find someone, guys. On any given day, you might find Bel Air filming on top of that parking structure to your left. They have a tennis court up there. They film that quite often. But more traditionally, they film a lot in Stage 14. This is our 2nd largest sound stage. It's been home to some of our biggest films, like How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. That's where we built Mount Crumpet, Where the Grinch Lived. Jurassic Park, the first time they see a dinosaur, the Brachiosaurus. All that done right there in the walls of 14. And some great examples of how we can use these stages to create a setting from scratch, something that doesn't exist at all out in the real world. And we've got plenty more options to do this. Coming up here to our right, these are stages 16 through 19, home to some of our biggest sitcoms, like The Jeffersons, Martin, Coach, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. All done right here. Stage 16 there is currently home to Based on a True Story. That is another Peacock original. I've mentioned Peacock a few times. That's our streaming service. So that's on Peacock right now. Kaylee Cuoco, you might know her from The Big Bang Theory. She's around here a lot for that show these days. Coming up, stage 19, guys, not long ago was used for Oppenheimer. They're now a 7-time Oscar-winning film, including our 11th Best Picture winner. They did all their Oval Office scenes right here in stage 19. They used the same Oval Office set from the TV show Veep, starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus. So another example, at least how we can use the lot, almost any part of the lot we want, or reuse any part of any set. We are resourceful. But we're going to downsize from the stages now, guys, to our famous bungalows. Coming up on the left, where our good friend Ted is welcoming us. Let's say hi, Ted. It is the end of his work week. Again, he's had a very long week, guys, filming season 2. They've been in production, so he's cracked open a beer and he's welcoming us again to the bungalows, these small little tan buildings. On your left, right here. Once upon a time, these were home to stars like Marlon Brando, Jimmy Stewart, Doris Day. They would use these as dressing rooms all over their filming, but today they are home to some of the biggest production companies in the business. We've got Illumination back there. That's the team working on Wicked. Sorry. Illumination's the team behind the Minions, you saw, and Super Mario Brothers movie. We're going to see where the team behind Wicked works in just a second, coming up. Right there's Kevin Williamson's office, if I got any horror fans, my HHM people. He wrote Scream, created shows like Dawson's Creek and The Vampire Diaries. Here's Mark Platt Productions, guys. That's the team working on Wicked, as you'll see the big Wicked balloon there. Coming out in November with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. They've been around on the lot lately. Keep an eye out for pink and green. Right there's Bungalow 5195, again for all my horror people especially. That's Alfred Hitchcock's old office. That's where he worked, the master of suspense. You see his little silhouette on the front, an homage to him. We're going to get more Hitchcock history in a little bit as well, so keep an eye out for birds, psychos, things of that nature. But right past the bungalows, here we are at some of our newest sound stages, 25 and 26. 25 is home to Lopez versus Lopez. It stars George Lopez and his daughter Mayan. Airs on NBC. Just as St. Denis Medical, this brand new workplace sitcom that films at stage 26. It's going to premiere in November on NBC. You can check that out soon. They also have a set on the Backlot, St. Denis Medical, where they filmed, and you're going to see that in just a second as we head from the front lot now, guys, on to the back lot.
We're about to cross the imaginary boundary onto the back lot, where we have exterior sets for many outdoor scenes. Over the last 60 years, studio tour guests have seen these locations turned into big cities, quiet suburbs, even that guy's hometown. Yeah, that guy. For countless movies and TV shows. This is Universal's Metro Sets.
That's right. Welcome on to the Backlot, guys. The Metro sets here, the first example of these exterior sets. We got all these sort of different areas within the Metro sets. The first one we're going to talk about is coming up right past this corner, off to the right here. We're going to talk about Brownstone Street, sort of classic New York style brownstone apartments. Just over there to our right, featured in everything on the screen, a whole bunch more. To add in a personal favorite of mine here, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. With Macaulay Culkin, they did all their stunt sequences right over there. And behind you to your right, that's the exterior of the hospital for St. Denis Medical. Look in that brand new show. That's that set I was talking about. But right here as we pass Brownstone now, guys, we are about to come up onto probably the most recognizable part of the Metro sets.
Welcome to the Courthouse Square. These sets were used to create Hill Valley in the Back to the Future films.
And they represented multiple time periods, 1985, 1955, and the far, far distant future, 2015. To this day, this is one of the most popular sets on the Universal Studio Tour.
We had a lot of fun making those films here on the lot. I wonder what it'd be like to go back to those days. If only we had a time machine.
Hey, everybody, do you think we can get this tram up to 88 miles per hour? See you in the future.
Thankfully, guys, we don't have to hit 88 to get you back to the future. We're here right now. This is the Courthouse Square, Hill Valley, as you may know it right there. Looks a little different right now. It's John Hancock High School. That is the high school in Ted. Again, they were just in production over here recently. See some other highlights on your screen. Psycho 2, To Kill a Mockingbird, the pilot episode of The Twilight Zone, 1959. All done right here on the Courthouse Square. So a lot of history in just this one little square of the Metro sets. But we're going to head out of the suburbs now, guys, and head back to the city. We're going to turn here onto what we call New York Street. This has been New York and the Amazing Spider-Man, Hobbs and Shaw from Fast and Furious. We turned it into Chicago with the Blues Brothers. We've had music videos for artists like Michael Jackson, Lady Gaga, U2, Taylor Swift. That list goes on and on. We have TV series quite often in here. Quantum Leap on NBC used to film here a lot. Bel Air films in here quite often. American Ninja Warrior, they build their obstacle course on New York Street every year right here. Their new season just premiered. I'll show you some other fun highlights of the Metro sets on your screens right there. Let's see, not long ago we had a T-Mobile commercial filmed here. We had a Vanity Fair photo shoot. So there's all kinds of ways we can adapt these sets for any kind of production that you might need. And we do that primarily through what we call art direction. Art direction is essentially just every detail that you'd see on screen. All the props, the signs, the fonts of the signs, the colors we use, the materials the sets are made of, all that brick and stone around us, not really brick or stone. It's made of mostly plaster, plywood, and plastics. The 3 Ps, as they'll say. That makes it a little easier to adapt the sets from production to production, which would not be the case out in the real world, where all the brick and stone is real brick or stone, and you have thousands, maybe, of people walking around to and from work or going home. So that is the main benefit of having your very own studio lot. But we're gonna say goodbye to our little concrete jungle for now, guys, and we're gonna head out to the real jungle of Skull Island. We got a date with our good old buddy King Kong. Here's director Peter Jackson, guys. He's going to tell you a little more what to expect as we approach.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up into an inch. And Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters, creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island. And it's great to have you along the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
That's right, guys. If you can tell by the name, things get a little bumpy around these parts, so make sure we stay seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the tram and hold on to your via host. The gates to Skull Island are opening as we speak. King Kong 363. I don't know about you guys, but I was shook up. Gotta catch my bearings real quick. Still with me there, car 1, car 2, 3, 4, all skulls are intact, yes, okay, sweet, you're still alive, and I still have a job, and that was some of the most advanced 3D technology in the industry, brought to you by Weta FX. This is the team behind visuals in films like King Kong, The Lord of the Rings, The Jungle Book, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, the Avatar films, which they won their 7th Academy Award for last year. You see the screens right there, 40 feet tall, 180 feet wide, all brought to you by Weta FX.
With a project like the studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions, there's creatures coming at them, they're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, you always know what people are looking. They're looking straight ahead, they're looking at the shots that they're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away. We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, we're presenting to the audience.
And we've escaped Skull Island, guys. We're going to wind our way further into the backlot now, where we have, again, more of our exterior sets. We're going through another part of the Metro sets right here. This is called London Square, designed to have a more European look. It's been London in the Mindy Project, Marvel's Agent Carter, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., both from Disney. But we're coming out of the Metro sets here. We are actually going to see a few more sound stages, just a few. They're coming up down here on our left, stages 30 through 33. Where we have a lot of our live audience shows, like our most popular one perhaps that was filming this week, The Voice.
A studio tour. It's your boy Snoop Dogg. Did you know that the Universal Backlot is home of The Voice? That's right. We take right here on Stage 31. Don't miss our incredible new season every Monday and Tuesday on NBC. See ya.
Hello.
Now that you've heard the rest, you can have the best. You can be with the S and have this on your chest.
Snoop joins The Voice Monday and Tuesday on NBC and Peacock.
They were filming their knockout rounds just yesterday, guys. Right there to your left, stages 30 and 31. We got our voice coaches, Snoop, Michael Bublé, Gwen Stefani, and Reba McEntire. Reba actually has a brand new sitcom filming on stage 33 right over there as well. It's called Happy's Place. It's going to air October 18th on NBC. So she's pulling double duty on our live, but right there in front of that body of water, in front of the sound stages, guys, the body of water, that's called the Hollywood Ocean. Take a look there. They got a lot of film history there too. You can go all the way back to 1954 when they turned that into the Black Lagoon. As in the creature from the Black Lagoon. One of our classic monsters coming up on his 70th anniversary. We are all up in monster territory right here. A whole lot really is monster territory considering the impact they had on our studio way back throughout the 30s and 40s and even today still. The creature from the Black Lagoon is a great example of art direction as well, how he turned that right there into the Amazon for the film. Using art direction and different props and changing the sort of greenery around the body of water. You're also going to get a really good look at art direction in here in a second. As we pull up to stage 50, right here, guys, this is what we would call a hot set. That means that it is fully dressed and ready for filming. You can step right on and they're ready to call action. So when we go inside, take a look around, think of all those details that go into art direction. Again, it's everything from all the props and signs and posters, the colors of the wall, the architecture. We got hair, makeup, and costumes. All that is under art direction as well. Think of all that, look around, see if you can figure out the style or the tone of this production, or figure out the location of the scene. Stay seated, keep your arms and legs inside the trim. As you see, everything's in place. They could start rolling at any point, but we'll just take a quick look and get out of their way. So yeah, you'll see all around us. The lighting set up, camera's ready to go right by the director's chair. The director basically just has to show up and call action. Whoops, I forget how to say action on the hot set. Okay, looks like we're rolling here, guys. Hold on tight. Okay, sure, maybe I could have mentioned the production was Earthquake. A real big one. Congrats, guys, you survived your very own earthquake. The simulation thereof. That was made using real seismic activity, as we are no stranger to real earthquakes here in Southern California. That was also made based off of the 1974 disaster film Earthquake. Came out around the end of that year. Universal is going to follow it up with an even more terrifying movie. This next movie that we're talking about, guys, it has a lot to do with the road that we just turned on. This is Steven Spielberg Drive. We are talking about Spielberg's first big hit. It gets delayed from Christmas of '74 to summer of '75. We're heading out to the setting of the film right now, Amity Island. We are talking about, of course, Jaws, his first big hit, again, the biggest box office hit of all time when it came out. Take a little look at Amity here, guys. It looks a little different than it normally does. So our shark right now is, like many of you, on vacation, doing some much-needed self-care. Would you look at Amity there? You might also recognize it as Cabot Cody from Murder, She Wrote, Angela Lansbury. So one way or the other, guys, murder is involved in these parts. It's a dangerous area over there, be careful. But if you jump back to Jaws, this came to the lot right after, or a year after the movie in 1976. They brought the original boat, the Orca, the boat that they spent most of that end of the movie on, had it on the water for quite some time. Spielberg himself would come sit on the boats day after day for hours just to kind of process the trauma from making the movie Jaws. He had a lot of trouble getting that movie made, a lot of problems with the shark never working, a lot of production delays. We'll hear more from him about that in a bit. But first, I want to figure out where all that water went. I think I have a hunch. I think it's right down here in old Mexico. Our good friend Al Roker is going to tell you more about what I mean.
Time for my favorite part of the tour, weather. When it comes to film and TV, it is truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1968.
That's right, guys. As Al's mentioning, you're hearing it right now, weather effects. So we're adding these elements to our set here using strobe lights and speakers, all that thunder and lightning. And hey, guess what? We can add rain too. We do that by raising this really fancy-dancy thing called a sprinkler high above the set, and from there he just flipped the on switch. Again, pretty simple stuff. He got a sprinkler at home. He got a movie waiting to be made. Rain by itself might make a scene feel sad or romantic, but you throw in those thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. Suddenly the tone has shifted and things are ominous. Maybe there's something dangerous coming just around the corner. Watch out back there, guys. Looks like we're caught in another flood. You might be in the splash zone. Over there and over here and over everywhere. Wow, guys, it's almost like I knew that was coming or something. Or like Al Roker told you it was coming. As he mentioned, that was the first attraction ever added to the tour in 1968, the Flash Flood. You might have seen that in the music video for Lady Gaga's song Judas, or in the movie Big Fat Liar with Paul Giamatti.
You cannot run the wolf, kid! You know, plus you got that.
And there you have the Flash Flood. Much more enjoyed from the safety of the trailer. Don't want to be that guy. Unless they pay you, then it's not so bad. But then we're going to get out of old Mexico before we get caught in another flood and cross over to the Old West. Welcome to 6 Points, my friends. Home of some of the most classic westerns and western stars like John Wayne, Kirk Douglas, Jimmy Stewart, Clint Eastwood, Robert Redford, Brad Pitt, and Leonardo DiCaprio. Not as long ago, they were here for Quentin Tarantino's 9th feature film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They filmed several scenes here. They won a few Oscars for the movie. They won an Oscar for Best Production Design, which goes hand in hand with art direction. Production design is sort of your overall look and feel of the production. And then art direction is essentially just how you execute that on screen and get all those details, bringing them to life. You can look at all of the colors they use, the specific fonts or curtains, The materials, again, all that brick and stone that's not really brick or stone. A really fun example of 6 points more recently in theaters just a few months ago is Maxine chase sequence through the sets right here in 6 points. So if you watch that film, you can see inside some of these sets, and you'll see that a lot of them are what we call facades. It's just the front and two sides of a building. There's no interior built. Some of them are practical and have interiors fleshed out. Practical sets usually have walls on all four sides. This last one to your left is a great example of a facade. You can see on the back here. It's really just the front and the two sides of that building, but you'll see others. You can think about that as we see other these sets as we keep going. We're going to kind of come back around the back side of 6 points and head back up Steven Spielberg Drive again one more time. Spielberg has some history in 6 points as well. His films Amistad and The Color Purple both filmed right here, where Whoopi Goldberg's character Celie opens up her dress shop at the end of the film. Right there. So, I mean, you can kind of throw a stone on the lot and hit something that has some Spielberg history to it, but especially here, and of course Amity. We're going to actually pass by Amity Island one more time, and to give you a little more context about what I was saying earlier with all the problems they had making the movie Jaws. I'm going to throw it over to Steven himself right now to tell you guys a little more about that.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio waves. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited.
The shark worked well enough for a while there to end the news the whole time. So I really owe the shark a lot.
There he is in the mouth of his mechanical shark, which he nicknamed Bruce after one of his attorneys. We're going to get out of Amity, though. We're going to go from sharks now to equally terrifying creatures. Let's talk about chickens. Ooh, there comes the Chicken Ranch, guys, to your right. Built for the 1982 movie musical, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, with Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. You can see inside, the front door is open. A great example there of a practical set. As you see, it's got a whole staircase. You can go upstairs. They got the front, the back, the whole 9 yards there. So you can film on the inside and outside. That was originally built on stage 12. That was the first sound stage we saw coming down the hill. They have moved it on to the back lot since then, right here in the little suburbs kind of part of the lot, which we are really turning into right now, guys. We're turning on what we call Colonial Street recreation. A suburban neighborhood. A bunch of other large, practical suburban homes here. Practical, semi-practical. Here's a fun example of one on screen recently. This is Ted's house and the Peacock show, Ted. There it is on your screens, and there it is in real life to your right.
Activities begin. How many we got?
Well, let's see. We got 20 kinds.
Fantastic.
Do you think we're getting too old for this?
Doing a public service here. If a kid leaves the house in a less than stellar Halloween costume, he's got to get the bad news before he makes a fool of himself all over town with Samaritans.
Again, that's a great example of Colonial on screen recently. I'm going to show you those, some more of our classic highlights of Colonial throughout the years. It was also Candy Cane Lane last Christmas for Eddie Murphy's Christmas movie, Candy Cane Lane, on Amazon. It was Hummingbird Lane back in the 60s for the 1960 series, The Munsters. You're going to see the original Munsters house coming up on our right-hand side down here, this pinkish purple house. I think see their doors are open. Sometimes it is. It's closed today. They want a little privacy. That's okay, but the Munsters are just one example, again, of our long history with horror. We also had an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer filmed here on Colonial Street. The Nightmare on Elm Street 6 as well, so a lot of horror history just on this one street, but kind of across our entire lot. We've had a long legacy with the horror genre, all the way from the monster movies up through Spielberg, Hitchcock, and Jordan Peele now. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but we're coming out of Colonial. Another nod to the suburbs here is a sign. On the left, it's the Line Estates, where Marty McFly lived in the Back to the Future films. Spielberg was a producer on those films. We are back on Steven Spielberg Drive. It's going to take us up toward more Spielberg territory. So I'm going to throw it back to him now, guys. He's going to tell you guys a little bit about how his journey with Universal began.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. This was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom. And when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left. And then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Say they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage. And I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
Speaking of the lot in the 60s, guys, right there to your left is one of the original Glamour trams from 1964. That's what the tram looked like when it first debuted. That is one of the OG cars. Along here with some of our other famous picture cars. That's what we call any vehicle that you see on screen. Whether it's a car, a plane, train, boat, or tram, whatever it is, we'll still refer to it as the picture car on set. Now let's say you were driving one of these picture cars all night long down the highway, you're tired, you need somewhere to pull over and get a good night's sleep. Perhaps you could do that right here at the Bates Motel, the infamous, iconic Bates Motel from Alfred Hitchcock's classic, 1960s Psycho. See, it looks a little different, a little extra spooky right now for Halloween Horror Nights. You come to HHN and do the Terror Tram. You'll get dropped off down here and get to walk around right in the middle of Hitchcock territory. Just up the hill, guys, we got the original Psycho house coming up where Norman Bates lives, taking care of his loving and protective mother. It looks like Norman is home, guys. You know what? Just wave and smile. Nice, big, happy smiles usually does the trick. Despite what you've heard and seen, he really is a nice guy. Nice guy. Oh God, nice guy, Norman. Nice. Okay. Let's see. I've seen how this one ends, guys, and it's not pretty. Watch out back there, car 4. Okay, we're just gonna veer off the beaten psychopath, I think, out of Hitchcock territory, and back to guess who? Spielberg. Here we are, right in the middle of one of Spielberg's sets from his 2005 sci-fi epic War of the Worlds.
The airplane crash set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision of Steven.
You sit down and talk about the world. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in the big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep pressing me. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Now closed.
Robbie, get in. Get in.
This is one of the largest sets ever built at that time, largely in part due to the sheer size of the plane. A real 747 airplane there. Spielberg and team purchased from an airplane graveyard for about $60,000. It's a pretty good deal if you're in the marketplace for airplanes, but we're going to go from a veteran like Spielberg now to a more recent filmmaker to call Universal home as we head up the road and approach Jupiter's Claim. This is one of the sets from Oscar winner Jordan Peele's latest feature film, Nope.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible mission and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over over there look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, a little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. Stop looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. What's a bad miracle? Welcome to the world of no.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about UFO hotspots, guys, but I do know I have to get all of you back to the park in one piece. So we're going to get out of here quickly and on to our next set, which will be a good place to hide out from a UFO if need be. This is the hideout for Dom Toretto and his crew in the Fast and Furious franchise. Sullivan's Garage. This is another hot set, so we're about to put you right back in the middle of the action with your very own high-speed car chase scene here. So, as we head in, make sure again to stay seated, keep your arms and legs inside the trim, and hold on to all of your valuables. We're going to ramp up the speed in just a second, but first, we're going to hear from our good friends, Roman, Pierce, and Letty. They're going to call in and tell you guys everything you need to know about what's going on in our few scenes coming up in a second. Have your 3D glasses at hand. If you don't need them on yet, I'll tell you exactly when to put them on. But for now, Roman and Letty, my friends, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, yo! They just got here. All right, I got it. Hello, beautiful people, particularly you right there missing the third row. How you doing? Good. My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. Buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy. It's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in that third row. So look, see over there? It's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. That work of art back over there was made by my man Tej. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels.
So did you break it down to them?
What's that?
You had one job to do, Roman, one. All right, look, guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone will get us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay. We'll meet you.
So I said the third row.
Everybody out! This is the FBI! Turn that music off!
This is what we're doing. This is the race day after party. And what the other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move.
Bill?
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
guarantee my safety. I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss.
Got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, woman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of something.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate.
Sean traced us. I just can't hold it forever. Letty, Roma, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, round your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Alrighty, team, now is the time to put on your 3D glasses. 3D glasses on, any last hair and makeup touches. We are ready to call lights, camera, and action.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get fried!
This is our turn.
Move! After them!
Okay, guys, it's showtime. Cover the left. This thing ain't moving fast enough. Roman, Letty, hook him up.
Hit it!
Now we're moving.
Dad, look out! You can be the witness to everyone, we call it a day! The witness is mine, Letty!
How about you eat asphalt?
Don't think you're getting away! Call in the dogs!
Way to go, Letty. Not gonna happen.
No!
Don't worry, I got this. Don't shoot the bridge. And there's instructions. Hit the nitrous.
We're not gonna make it!
Ride or die.
You are all now bona fide action stars, and you are officially a part of the family. Congrats, everybody. We're going to get you back to the theme park now, our last order of business here. And to help us wrap it up one last time, here's our co-host, Jimmy.
Over the past 6 decades, the studio tour is taking guests on an amazing behind-the-scenes look at a movie studio in a way that only Universal can. I hope that you had a great time today, and on behalf of everyone at NBC Universal, thank you for joining us to celebrate our diamond anniversary. Here's to another 60 years.
That's right, thank you, Jimmy. We thank each and every single one of you, my friends, for coming and spending some time with us at the studio tour, getting behind